Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2026 Yandere Simulator experience. It's been over 11 years, and this game is still in development. Kind of insane that the entire Five Nights at Freddy's franchise has happened during the course of this game, including 11 mainline games, over 40 books, yes seriously 40 books, and now there's even 2 movies. But that's a story for another day. There could be hundreds of hours of content deep diving on all of the things that surround this game, but today, we're just going to be playing it. I should preface that I will not be talking about the developer of this game directly, nor any of the things surrounding him. I highly recommend that after this video you go and educate yourself on the type of individual that he is. All that I'm here to do is play the game. Let's just continue with that in mind. Before we get into the real meat and bones of the game, I feel like I should cover a very annoyingly persistent bug that has been plaguing my entire experience of playing Yandere Simulator. Here I am launching the game. My monitor has a 2560 by 1440 resolution, so I set the game to exactly that. Here I am closing the game. Here I am launching the game for a second time. Now the game says that it's in 2560 by 1440, but it clearly is not. I have to manually set it to 2560 by 1440 every single time that I launch the game, without exception. Whilst it's certainly not the end of the world, it does just show that there's a certain lack of polish in how this game plays, and that continues through to the gameplay. Upon beginning my playthrough, I was prompted to change my difficulty settings. It's just a series of extra hoops that you have to jump through in order to play the game properly. Like small weapons having only one use, or blunt weapons creating blood. It makes the game harder by making the experience more tedious. Regardless, the game was keen to bully me by telling me I'm on baby mode if I don't select some of the difficulty increases, so I turned a handful of them on. Let's just hope I don't regret that later. Now that I've selected my difficulty, I'm prompted with customizing my Senpai. Despite only 2 options being presented, only one of them is functional. You must have a male Senpai. Which is fine, but why give me the illusion of choice? Regardless, with my Dream Boy ready, I continued through the customization, being now prompted to pick a uniform. I went with this red and black one, because it looked nice. The opening cutscene then plays.
Something is wrong with me.
There's some backstory for Ayano, the main protagonist. How she cannot experience emotion. The lore of the game is often cringy at the best of times, but I will say that this Aishi curse, which is basically a genetically passed down lack of feeling save for one individual, is something that has been rightfully criticized. I won't get into detail of the entire Aishi family. There's an entire wiki page full of information about that if you're interested, including several characters who aren't present in the game at all yet, but explaining lore that is loosely relevant to the game via messages on Discord is probably not a very enjoyable way to learn about the world of the game. After some lore dump, Ayano bumps into this man of pure masculinity and perfection. Immediately, she knows he's the one. The cutscene is fully voice acted by Ayano's voice actor, Michaela Laws. She did a phenomenal job at bringing an otherwise dull character to have a little bit of life.
She wants him, but not in the same way that I want him. She could never appreciate him the way I do. She doesn't deserve him. He belongs to me. I have to stop her, even if it means hurting her. Even if it means killing her.
Whilst Michaela doesn't work on the project anymore because of some controversies I won't get into, I think her work here was excellent. Finally, in the intro cutscene, we are prompted by one of the students of the school, academy, Kokona Haruka, to help the drama club out with a play. It's a cute excuse to teach players how to get away with crimes, as well as a fun role for the character that used to be the guinea pig before proper rivals were introduced. I'm not going to annotate the tutorial, but I will tell you about what you are supposed to do in this game. The goal of the game is to confess your love to your senpai. You aren't the only one to fall for them, however. You are one of 11 people who want Senpai's attention. The rivals will confess their love to Senpai on the 5th day of school, the end of Friday. If you do not interfere with them, then you will lose Senpai forever. So your goal is to make sure that doesn't happen. You can choose whether you want to take them out peacefully, like bullying them out of the school, making Senpai reject them, befriending them and begging them to avoid Senpai. Or you can remove them directly. There's no shortage of ways to eliminate your rivals, but not all of them are created equal. Should you choose a more violent route, being a ruthless assassin does have a lot of consequences, including dropping the school atmosphere. People don't feel safe when students keep going missing. You also have to avoid attention from the police. Whether they find a non-living person or not doesn't matter too much, as long as they can't link it back to you. Always cover your tracks. Should you choose to go on a spree of attacking everyone around you, your sanity will go down with each violent choice that you make. There are numerous consequences for looking insane. Firstly, your attack animations are far longer the more insane that you are. However, if you choose to go stealthy, the animation does not change. When you look insane, you begin alarming those around you. Should they see you, you will occasionally giggle against your will, drawing attention to yourself. You begin attacking people around you without player input. Generally, you want to avoid being insane. No, wait. Even after the tutorial, there's more. We are introduced to a character called Infochan, also known as one of the worst parts about this game. This cutscene explains that she's working with us, apparently because she dislikes Osana, our first rival. But it's made clear to us throughout the course of the game that there's more going on under the surface. Functionally, Infochan is our cheat code, telling us what to do and at what times with what resource, and gives us items and information that may heavily help us when we attempt to take our rivals out. All these things come at a unique price, although I will bring that up much later on. There's not really a good place to talk about this, so I'll talk about it here. This game has a weak select feature. Whilst it's nice and it's convenient for when this game has more rivals, right now it's really sad. You can fool around with various settings to make your game more or less difficult, though somehow it feels both too detailed and not nearly as detailed as it should be. You can select specifically 0 or 10 alarmed classmates, or 0 or 10 police calls. They don't even do anything in this mode yet. They are more significant in the 1980s mode, however. I will talk about the 1980s mode much later on. But for now, let's talk about the main story of the game. Now we're taken to a corkboard in our room, listing each potential elimination method, along with a low quality video that was clearly just screen recorded, telling us how Infochan works. Now you might be thinking, selecting an elimination method here most likely helps you get steps or tells you nope. It doesn't do anything, like at all. This is a functionally useless screen, although you could make the argument it would help new players to decide which method they want to use. I chose the rejection method, as it's apparently super difficult according to the game, and it also provides the most unique cutscenes and voice acting, although me selecting it here didn't actually do anything to affect my gameplay. After a solid 15-second blank loading screen, I'm taken to the calendar. With my particular method, I'll have to participate in sabotaging an event during each day of gameplay. But first, let's quickly explore Ayano's room. There's an undergarment changing system, which is a bit weird. There's a shrine, which is unsettling, which I think it's supposed to be that way, so it's fine. I can watch an anime, which tells us an elimination method, which both doesn't work on Osana and has also since been power crept. But after enough fooling around, I leave Ayano's room, change her hairstyle a little bit, find some money on the bench, thanks to her mum Ryoba. Then I go to the town, buy some clothing. Then finally I go to the academy.
Senpai.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe you overslept again. It's just like back in middle school.
What you just heard there was a snippet of Osana's interaction with Senpai. The conversation is a key to understanding how to sabotage Osana's interaction with him today. To summarize what she said, she's going to give Senpai a bento, which is a common lunch to have in Japan, and we have to poison said bento, making it seem as though Osana has made an abhorrent meal for Senpai. Before we do all that, however, you may have noticed that I'm repeatedly pulling out Ayano's smartphone and taking pictures of everyone. This has multiple purposes. Firstly, it's giving us info points, so we can use Infochan's services, but it also means that we have them available in outlines when we go into Yandere Vision, which is just instinct mode from Hitman. Third benefit is that we get details on them and can tag them, which causes a red circle around them in Yandere Vision. But I don't personally utilize this in my playthrough because I know where most of the students are, but it is something that you should keep in your mind. In the midst of taking a photo of every individual on site, I begin pickpocketing the gardening club leader. Her key allows us access to the gardening club shed, which has rat poison. If we put this rat poison in the bento that Osana gives to Senpai, we successfully sabotage the interaction that she will have with him on Monday. This is our only elimination related task that we have to complete on Monday. There is nothing else to do in order to eliminate the rival, but I did not just go to class and end the day. I instead took the long and arduous task of befriending as many students as I possibly could, building my reputation and giving me unique benefits when talking to them. Each student has their own task that you can complete in order to befriend them. Most of the students have a placeholder task, which is to write a report for them. This task requires you to visit the library, read a book, and inform them of your findings. Every single time that you get this task, you have to revisit the library, read the book again, and then inform the student of your findings. Thankfully, not all of the students have this placeholder task. So after disturbing everyone's class time by asking them all for a favor that I can owe to them, I begin plodding through all of the tasks. Again, a lot of the tasks are the placeholder task in which I described earlier, which, as you're seeing on your screen right now, is not very engaging to watch. It was at about this point that I realized I forgot to look at the cutscene that plays out during Osana and Senpai's interaction. So I was slightly late to it.
What did you put in this?
Huh? What do you mean?
My stomach really hurts all of a sudden.
Hey, you shouldn't insult a girl's cooking, you dummy!
I'm sorry. I can't finish it. I have to go.
So with our Monday sabotage complete, I continue to plot away at the random tasks that the students give me. This task right here is one of the most intricate, and it involves me grabbing a bucket, filling it with water, grabbing brown paint, mixing the brown paint with the water, then setting a trap, having a girl trip it, thus getting covered in brown paint, then taking a picture of the girl covered in brown paint, reporting back to the person that gave me the task. As you can see, I was having a little bit of trouble getting the correct person to come through the door, but after some small tinkering, I managed to make it work. Among some of the more interesting tasks we had to do, we gave this martial arts student a dumbbell concealed in a bucket, fixed a training dummy with a wrench. We asked every bully why they don't like this dashing young gentleman right here. We cleaned muddy footprints. For some reason, the muddy footprints appeared as brown squares on the ground. I think this has to do with the censorship options that I had on, but it's not supposed to look like that. In this area, we also find a lost book to return to the girl that sits in the library. The last task that we did before we finally went back to class was give this science girl a car battery. Upon completing this task, should I choose to do so, I now have the option to send a killer robot after my rival. Now, my lovely people, this was the final clip that I recorded for that day, which whilst wouldn't be anything worth telling you about, absolutely was worth reporting to you here. I intentionally left my game running for a full 24 hours. Not because I forgot or because I had some funny glitch to show, but it was because I did not want to use the abhorrently bad save and load system that this game has. I even copped a stray message on Discord from my friend for leaving the game open for so long. Because I never used the save and load myself, knowing how inconsistent and bad it is, I thought to myself, the best way to show it off is through the YouTube channel Drippy. They make videos on unintended things you can do in Yandere Simulator. And I'm not joking when I say almost all of the glitches are caused by saving and loading in some capacity. If you're interested in seeing how broken this game can become, I'd recommend Drippy's videos. They too don't support the creator, and are absolutely hilarious. Now I showed you how save and load can be exploited with funny results, but really it's anything but funny if you're just trying to play the game normally. When even the game warns you how buggy the save and load is, you know there's a serious problem. After completing my first day, I went to the gaming console in Ayano's room. Yeah, seriously, this is the same game as the one we were just playing. This is a game that we must play in order to complete a task. Although it's basically a prototype game trying to recreate a Yandere version of Castlevania. I personally haven't interacted with the Castlevania series. The only thing I know about it is that the angry video game nerd isn't particularly fond of the second game.
This game sucks.
So Yandere consists of moving left and attacking zombies. It's really not that interesting to talk about, nor that interesting to play. It's an extremely bare bones minigame, but it's surprisingly high effort. It's really weird. We visit the town at night, which I can't even tell you what's happening here. But I wanted to bring up that this place has my favorite OST in the entire game. Have a listen. I've been playing various songs throughout this video, and I believe that this game has some really awesome tracks. I love the dynamic music that plays depending on your atmosphere and your sanity. As the atmosphere in the score goes down, the songs become more muted, less notes, less instruments, and as your sanity goes down, the songs become darker, more twisted. Each of the tracks that play in the background when you're at the academy have 9 different possible versions. Full sanity, half sanity, low sanity, full atmosphere, middle atmosphere, and low atmosphere. Undertale. This is a game that's well known for its music. I personally have barely played Undertale, yet I love the songs Fallen Down, Megalovania, and Bone Trousel. Why does this game not have the same cult following of music? It's definitely good enough and made by some talented people. Well, aside from the obvious controversial status of the game, these tracks are made by various people who volunteered to help on the project, whereas something like Undertale was made entirely by the indie developer. I personally believe that the music is one of the best parts of the entire game, yet it fails to have the same charm. It's made by too many different volunteers under supervision from somebody who just has a very strict vision. Let's turn our minds back to our playthrough. We are now on Tuesday. We must throw a sentimental book that Senpai has given to Osana into the water, damaging it greatly and thus making Osana look careless. We complete a few of our final tasks, having only a small amount of them remaining now. I haven't fully explained Osana as a rival, but meet Raibaru. This is her best friend and walking weapon of mass destruction. She's too strong for us to overpower, and she will attack us if we do something violent in front of her. Basically, she's the reason why we couldn't just go up to Osana and bonk her on the head with a bat. That's if we wanted to eliminate her that way. This task is one of the very limited ways we can remove Ribaru from her friend patrol. This is now the ideal time to have something terrible happen to Osana, should you choose to want to eliminate her that way. This task is super unique in that it has a benefit beyond just making a friend. Having a benefit beyond making a friend does come at a price. You must befriend 5 students of the martial arts club, including the leader, whose name is Martial Arts Master in Japanese. To cut Mr. Martial Arts Master some slack, the other martial arts students have equally stupid names. Now personally, I don't mind the silly names that appear in the school. In fact, I find some of them quite funny. But this game takes itself way too seriously to have names as absurd as them. Even with the relatively recent fix for various names, although not all of them, the silly names don't suit the tone. Or rather, I'd say, the tone doesn't suit what the game should be. Astute viewers might have noticed I am standing around doing nothing, playing some retro Flappy Bird game in order to pass the time. I am waiting for an opportunity to steal an answer sheet from the staff room to complete a delinquent's task. Even if you want to waste time and wait, you cannot get faster than this without using debug commands. But wait, here's a fun little challenge. How am I going to get the teacher that's patrolling outside of the room? Well, one giggle, and she's on an incredibly long route all the way to where she heard the sound, so that will suffice. I then steal the answer sheet, mess around the staff room, and then head to class. We now get to the sabotaging portion of the day. I put the book in the water. Osana is sad until she starts to eat her bento with her bestie, and she seems in good spirits again. There's a mini stealth part that I forgot to record, but it's really not that interesting anyway. Since there are so few tasks left, I have nothing to do, so I go to the library and use the function to pass time. The fact this doesn't work before the end of school is a baffling choice, but regardless, it gives us more study points, which in turn lets us level up faster. Then we head home. I also forgot to attend the cutscene where Senpai gets angry at Osana, so enjoy this crude recreation. After eating some magic noodles in the town, we go to sleep, walk through some backstory, and complete our final task. By the way, none of the backstory was particularly interesting, and it's not really that important, so I'm just not even going to talk about it. We make it to Wednesday, where we watch our cutscene for the morning, tell our noodle lover that the noodles make you experience cringy lore when you eat them. Then we go to sabotage Osana by placing a bucket of water above a door. Oh right. Remember when I turned on various difficulty settings? Let's just hope I don't regret that later. One of them that I turned on forces me to use a substance other than water to sabotage people. Whilst not the end of the world, I wasted another 2 minutes getting the water to be brown paint and then putting it above a door. Ribaru naturally goes in the showers with her bestie, which is a perfectly normal thing to do. Taking our opportunity, we steal Osana's phone, take it to the computer lab to put bad images on her phone. We inconspicuously put her phone back on her desk. That's our sabotage done for the day. Now, jokes aside, the way that we actually sabotaged Osana today was by putting inappropriate images on her phone. She's going to show Senpai her phone. If we didn't sabotage, he'd see some of the prettiest areas in the school. Not this time though. We're going to bring up a topic that I briefly touched on before, Infochan. I introduced her briefly earlier in the video. She is not a good inclusion in this game. Whilst I think that including a tutorial option for more obscure methods of eliminating is a good choice, especially if they're as confusing as some of the elimination methods that require multiple tidbits of knowledge, such as how to acquire a student's phone, something that is not very intuitive to understand. A reminder, in case you forgot, obtaining their phone requires you to set a trap for them, covering them in a liquid, having them shower and change their clothes, then steal their phone away whilst they're bathing. I think it's okay to have tutorials like that to teach the player about the game. Like in the beginning, it teaches you how to get away with sending a student to the Shadow Realm. What I do not think is okay, however, is a tutorial that takes you through a very hyper-specific set of instructions that require little to no initiative to achieve. The game is at its best when you just try things, explore possibilities. Infochan antithesis this. If this were the only thing I disliked about her, then I wouldn't have called her the worst part of this game. But there's something that she does that is far worse. Info points, which is the currency that you need to spend on the tutorials to unlock them, are obtained mostly by taking photos of students, setting bugs around the school, and doing bounties. But there's one more method. You can take a photo of the undergarments of female students and send them to Infochan to get info points. Even in a game where you mercilessly take lives away in order to get the affection of one individual, including burning them alive, framing them for murder, kidnapping and breaking their spirit, gossip so heavily you drive them to remove themselves from enrollment or even the world entirely. Panty shots are, without a doubt, the most heinous and disgusting thing that you get rewarded for in this game. Even now, with an incredibly nerfed method where you can just press a hotkey to take a photo and you don't have to actually look up into the skirt, this is the most degenerate feature I have ever seen in any video game I've ever played. If there's anything in the game that I wish wasn't in it across every single criticizable aspect, this is the only one where I cannot see a vision or a purpose from it. The game simply should not reward you for behaving this way. End of discussion. Anyway, let's move on. Before we finish with Wednesday, I did remember to watch the cutscene this time. As you can see, I am patiently waiting for it. You could say that because the game is unfinished, there aren't too many things to do, but I don't think it's really fun to just sit there wasting time. Mind you, I did pick the most boring elimination method, so it is my fault.
Hey, Senpai! I want to show you something! Take a look!
Wow, these pictures are great. You have a talent for...
What? What is it? What's wrong?
Gosh, I really didn't think you'd do this sort of thing.
What are you talking about? Let me see. What is this? How did this get on my phone?
I guess there's a side of you I never knew about.
Wait, I didn't take these pictures. I swear, you gotta believe me.
Senpai, being a big John Cena fan, was disappointed to see Gunther vs John Cena on Osana's phone, and he begins to believe that Osana is a dirty jabroni. Waking up bright and chipper the next morning, we're greeted with a very strange cutscene. The short story of the cutscene is it's telling you that you can eliminate Osana in a very specific way on this day. When we arrive at the academy, we listen to the cutscene for the morning, which boils down to Osana wants to watch a movie with Senpai, so we have to make her late to the movie. Whilst the game doesn't reveal what type of movie it is, I like to think that they're going to watch the first FNAF movie. During our setup on Thursday, I checked the timetable tab because I wasn't 100% sure about when the opportunity would arise to complete the sabotage. And rather than aimlessly following Osana for the entire day, I just checked when it would happen. Yes, I did find out when, but I also found out how. I didn't need to use my brain, and I didn't even need to spend info points on this. The game just told me this for free. Whilst yes, Infochan and her timetable are completely optional, they are not a fun way to learn how to play. The best way I see to fix this problem is to have Infochan give tutorials on a first playthrough, like tell you how to get circumstances to happen. But then on repeat playthroughs, then you start giving the specifics on how to make each rival fall into place for that elimination, rather than having you need to have the initiative to understand it. It took me all of 30 seconds to complete the Sabotage, and there's no special cutscene at the end of the day. Osana is still sleeping, and Raibaru has no common sense, so she idly spins around Osana instead of waking her up. So we end the day. You might have noticed Thursday was quite quick, and yes, it was. When I went to nighttime, the game crashed. I finally got sick of playing, so I took a break and played Spyro Reignited. I can't really communicate this in a very entertaining way, but this game has a lot of loading screens, waiting around, and just a generally unenjoyable gameplay loop. My gameplay is cut up for the convenience of you, the viewer, but I have spent hours on this playthrough. Although I brought up the tasks earlier and I don't really reap the benefits of them in the playthrough, they were probably the thing I found most entertaining. The result of all of this was that I took multiple days away from Yandere Simulator. During that time, an update was released for the game. Whenever you download an update, you re-download the entire game over again, which seems madly inefficient. Regardless, the update did not fix the resolution problem. One thing it did change, however, was including a new censorship option. To give some context, some channels who exclusively made content on Yandere Simulator were being taken down for completing a special ending. This ending involves sending all of the characters to the great beyond. So why is there a censorship option that turns everyone into a monitor head? Because they're not human, and therefore they can't be minors. Absolute cinema. Most of the reason for the terminations was because this game allegedly depicts graphic violence against characters in a high school. However, we are all smart enough to realize this game clearly takes place in a post-high school academy for adults. Alright, let's just stop kidding around. Yes, it is obvious that this game was always intended to take place in a high school, but for legal reasons, all the characters are said to be 18 or older, because otherwise it would be depicting minors in violent situations. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the characters aren't 18, but it does seem obvious to me that this post-high school academy stuff isn't really a detail that was always intended. I'll talk about this more later in the conclusion. Anywho, let's return to our playthrough. We listen in on the conversation, as we do at the start of every day. Basically, Senpai likes classical music, which is a totally respectable opinion, and Osana says it's boring and that he should listen to J-pop. I'm actually a very big fan of city pop and Japanese music myself, so I respect both these opinions. Although you shouldn't be dissing on someone for liking classical, that's just mean. What that means for us is we must replace her J-pop music with a recording that makes her look unappealing. We follow her, listen to her talk about her stalker and senpai, then we obtain her phone. Yes, it's the same method as earlier. In fact, we go to the computer lab. Why are we even presented with this option? We already did it. Anyway, we sabotage her music by putting 2011 My Little Pony music instead of J-pop. So, wait. This is the exact same thing as the third day, but with an extra step to record the conversation. Why? There is actually an alternative way to do the third day's objective that I chose not to do. You can manually take photos of the panties. This was thankfully updated to include an alternative method, so that's why they're quite samey. It's still not well designed though, and I've already spoken in length about why panty shots are absolutely filthy and shouldn't be in the game. We return Osana's phone to her desk, which she continues to look for, even during class time, and with that, we've completed the final sabotage.
Okay, Senpai. Time for you to hear what real music sounds like.
Alright, I'll listen. Osana, what the hell? I can't believe you'd make me listen to this.
Osana makes Senpai listen to Discord rather than J-pop, and he thinks it's cringe. Ouch, Senpai. That song absolutely bangs and you know it. The real audio is a spliced version of Osana's conversation, where she seems to be talking smack about Senpai. If it was actually Discord, I'm sure Senpai would have loved it. Next, we play Waiting Simulator for a very, very, very long time before we're finally greeted with the final cutscene.
Osana?
You dummy. Listen up, you dummy.
Osana?
Listen.
What is it?
You know,
What is it?
a lot of boys ask me to go
What
out
is
with
it?
them.
What is it?
Listen, but I
Osana?
always turn them down. I'm
What
not
is it?
interested in boys,
What-
like dating anyone, except one person
Who?
right next to me. I'm not interested in boys.
What is it?
Until now, I always
Who?
thought of you as just a child. No, I was afraid, but I finally
is
realized
it?
lying to you. I have to be lying to you.
Osana?
I can't stand. Just listen up, okay?
What is it?
No,
Who?
you idiot! I love you more than anything else in the world.
To tell you, I think we're right for each other.
You idiot! What?
What is it?
No,
No.
I can.
What is it?
I can stand. What?
It's going to work.
No.
Goodbye.
Wait.
Who?
What?
After the first week ends, we're greeted with some cutscenes. Some are decent, others are okay. Then finally there's one that tries to build the law, and as we all know, the law is questionable and illogical at the best of times, so that one sucks. To cut the game some slack, it seems unfair to talk about the most intricate elimination method and then complain that it takes too long. Even though, really, I'm not complaining that the method takes too long, I'm complaining that the game isn't fun in the meantime. So wait, then what's the more fun alternative? Attacking the rival directly. Okay, so let's give a quick introduction. Our rival of the second week is Amai. She likes cooking, and she's currently talking to our senpai. Now, what you're seeing is how I managed to defeat her before she even had a chance to enter the academy. You might think that it's boring to just immediately eliminate your rival, but I had quite a bit of fun with it, to be honest. It's the battle of the two extremes. I spent 5 full in-game days, 3 real-life days, eliminating the first rival. The second rival took 5 minutes. Have a look at this. This is the pinnacle of game design. If you are doing something incriminating, like attacking a student or putting her in a garbage bag, then you are instantly spotted by the teacher that stands near the gates. Even if her vision is blocked, she knows all. She managed to apprehend me before I gave up and let the law enforcement find Amai in her forever sleep. And that's the game. Technically, that's all there is for the main game of Yandere Simulator. Of course, I'm not going to cover every possible elimination method because that'd take too long and isn't very entertaining. But we're not done with Yandere Simulator just yet. Mission mode. I'm gonna be completely real, I never touched mission mode, ever, before this project. But I did one single mission on max difficulty and it was fine. I liked it. I didn't love it. I wouldn't want to do it repeatedly, but as a fun little one-off, it's okay. Pretty much, it's a mode where instead of a rival, you have to eliminate a single student. Difficulty settings might require you to use a certain weapon or dispose of the body in a certain way, but otherwise, all the same tricks from the main game apply. And that's really it for mission mode. Grab your vaporwave tinted glasses and come to the 1980s with me, a mode which has 10 rivals, whereas the main game only has 2. Obviously, this does not make any sense whatsoever from a consumer perspective. Why finish a side mode that's the same length as the main game before the main game? It's because a lot of shortcuts were taken. That's more so the how. I don't have an answer to the why. It's just a stupid choice. The main difference between 1980s mode and the main story is that there's no Infochan. There's still apt substitutes for each of her services, but whilst it's more fun to figure out the elimination methods without her just telling you how to do everything, what is not fun is that it's virtually identical for each rival. All rivals, for example, have the same interactions with Senpai, although it's worded differently, meaning that the rejection method is identical each time. All 5 of the sabotages are exactly the same. I should also mention, there is technically a canon elimination for each rival, but only like half of them are fun to do. I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys. This mode is just boring. It's not fun to play, and it's probably not fun to listen to me yapping about it either. It's repetitive and devoid of character. The characters aren't as fleshed out, the weeks are just as empty and as boring as the main game currently is, and it feels like a slog to get through. I did hype up that I was going to talk about the 1980s mode earlier, and yeah, there is an end cutscene where you go to a courtroom and all of the things that you did right will be in your favor. Like if you have a high reputation and a lot of friends, you will get support from them and be looking less guilty, and if you did a lot of things wrong, like leaving weapons around, getting caught with blood on you, etc., etc., then you will look guiltier in the courtroom, which is actually a fun little consequence for behaving poorly during your time playing the game. Okay, so, lore. L-O-R-E. Something I've been very critical of, as well as very mean about. I briefly went over how the Aishi curse is a hyper-expanded concept, mostly explained by messages on Discord, but that's pretty much a summary of the entire game. Characters are described as behaving certain ways in theoretical situations. The wiki, which by the way was a tremendous help with virtually everything, is full of fluff, meaningless behavior or interaction that both isn't relevant to gameplay and doesn't expand on the world in any sort of meaningful way. Let's talk a little bit about the Academy, or rather, why I keep calling it the Academy. It's a school. It is 100% intended to be a high school, and was retroactively made into a post-high school academy because it's less of a headache to explain that legally. But the lore of the world was made with the idea in mind that this is a high school. Even some of the headmaster tapes, which I am not covering, tell you that this was made to be a high school in the vision of a character who you probably will never meet and is barely involved in the story, and I'm not going to explain who it is because it's not relevant. Really? If this was just a simulator game as it was meant to be, judging from the fact that it is in the title of the game, then I wouldn't be so critical on the lore because it's so silly and over the top, unrealistic. Even in a world of fiction, it's somehow unrealistic. The thing that really gets me is the fact that the developer wants you to take this game dead serious. Okay, so there's a magical succubus named Sakubasu and a magical vampire succubus girl thing named Incubasu that attend the school, and there's a hidden ending where you can find their mother under the tree in this. Like, what am I even saying? I feel like I'm reading some 10-year-old's fanfiction. The only reason this game is as popular as it was because YouTubers, namely Markiplier and PewDiePie, played it a little bit, and people found it interesting that this game had a live development, Constantly there was updates about little things that were being added to the game. This was before development was really like public knowledge, so people were like, oh okay, he's adding this and he's adding that, that's kind of cool. But he was always going slow. We just didn't realize it back then. Let's have a little look back. What have we learnt about Yandere Simulator? The game has moments of brilliance, but is hampered by strange creative choices. Generally, the goal of the game is most enjoyable when you get there by violent means, which is why I think one of the many secret endings, specifically the put everyone down on the first day ending, is not just enjoyable to a limited extent, but genuinely fun. I think it is a fantastic and satisfying use of the game's mechanics. My first successful run took a few tries, and I abused the radio to slowly but surely pick students off one by one whilst they're in class. But eventually, I started increasing the difficulty, my own increase of difficulty, my own restrictions, like not using Infochan, trying to defeat everyone before the first class even starts, using knowledge and learning routines so that I can end people as efficiently as possible. It is a mental exercise in the best way. When I want to play Yandere Simulator, as in, I'm not doing it to make a YouTube video and I'm just doing it for my own amusement, I am doing this ending and I'm trying to beat my own records, I'm trying to get my own challenges. That's really the most fun that you're going to get out of this game. And that was Yandere Simulator. Thanks for watching.